You know, the irony of me doing this video is that I wasn't even planning to watch this show, The Landman. I kept seeing it pop up in my recommendations and I thought, oil fields, ranchers, drama, ain't really for me. But then my barber, the last person I expect to be a fan of this show, was raving about this show while he was lining me up. And you know, when your barber says something good, it's kind of like the gospel a lot of the time. So I gave it a shot, and guess what? This show is fire. Not only is it set in Texas, the greatest state in the union, by the way, but it's unapologetically bold in its storytelling. And then, boom, this scene drops in episode whatever, and I'm like, hold up. Did Landman just casually summarize the essence of the Second Amendment in 15 seconds? Let me show you what I'm talking about. Well, part of it anyway. So at the beginning of this clip, Rebecca Falcone says, "Send me a pen and I would like to point out I'm licensed to carry concealed in this state."
Send me a pen and I would like to point out I am licensed to carry concealed in this state.
Okay, let's pause right there. Rebecca, sweetheart, it's Texas. You don't need a license to concealed carry here anymore. We have constitutional carry. Now, I will say, Texas, shame on you for taking this long to get constitutional carry. Granted, in very Texas fashion, we now tote the idea that we're a constitutional carry state like we made the idea up, but that's just us. That's what we do. But I get it. She's like from Chicago or New York or somewhere where they don't really have a Second Amendment right. But baby steps, Rebecca. Now let's roll the second half of this clip. Tommy Norris responds, "You don't need a license to conceal carry in this state. That's why we all wave at each other when we're driving, because everybody is fucking armed."
I'd like to point out, Rebecca, that you don't need a license to carry concealed in this state. That's why we all wave at each other when we're driving, because everybody's fucking armed.
Man, if that isn't the most Texas shit I've ever heard. And the crazy part is, it's true. Guns don't just keep people polite, they keep relationships, personal and governmental, respectful. Here's the thing, Tommy's comment about waving is funny because it's true. There's a subconscious understanding in Texas that anyone who you encounter might be carrying a firearm. And while that might sound terrifying to someone from, say, New York or California, it's actually pretty damn peaceful. Stop trying to make the exceptions that you hear in the news the rule, because it's not. It's like this. You ever notice how the biggest, scariest dude and capable, that's the operative word, capable dude in the room is often the nicest? He doesn't need to prove anything. That's what being armed does on a personal level. It levels the playing field, but on a much bigger scale. That's what the Second Amendment does. It's not about overthrowing a government on a whim. It's about creating a relationship of respect between the people and the government. You see, our founding fathers understood that power unchecked becomes tyranny. So they said, let's make sure the people always have the means to check that power. And you know what? It works. Think about it. The US government has the most powerful military on the planet, but it still is very cautious about stepping on the toes of its citizens. Why? Because 400 million guns in the hands of 100 million Americans make tyranny a very, very expensive proposition. It's like a 6'9", 300-pound bodybuilder who dominates everyone in the gym, but then gets home and is terrified of his 4'11" wife. Why? Because she's got that frying pan of accountability, or chancla of accountability. And yeah, that's us with our government. Now back to Rebecca. She's coming from a place where gun rights aren't the norm. So when she gets to Texas, she sees her firearm as a badge of superiority, not equality. That's the difference between people who are used to freedom and those who aren't. Texans see guns as tools, a means to protect themselves and their families. It's not about being better than anyone. It's not about wielding your power over anyone. It's about being prepared. Rebecca, though, she treats it like she just discovered Excalibur and is ready to rule Camelot. So yeah, this scene is funny, but it's also profound. It's a reminder of why the Second Amendment exists, not just to keep us polite at four-way stops, but to ensure that our government always remembers who's really in charge. We the people. And if that's not a reason to wave at your fellow Texan on the road, I don't know what is. Now, I know what you're thinking. I know you're watching this and you're a little jealous. You're like, damn, that Texas hoodie that he's wearing goes hard. I wish I had one in my inferior state. But because I'm a Texan and because I'm nice and I'm friendly, you actually can get this awesome premium embroidered hoodie at shop.mrcolionnoir.com. Now, the beautiful thing is, because I'm also nice again, is you can get this hoodie in whatever state you want. This is part of the Keep America Tactical collection that I have at shop.mrcolionnoir.com. We have it in our hoodies, we have them in shirts, we have them in drinkware, you name it. We have it in every state. So if you're in one of these weirdo states, we got one for you too. Same style. I also got these for you. My favorite hearing protection, AKT1 blackouts. Yeah, man. These are my absolute favorites, as I say quite a bit because it's very, very true, because they allow me to listen to my music and take phone calls all while I'm at the range. I was at the range the other day, actually, and I was doing some shooting, and then my mom decided to interrupt my range session with a phone call. So you know what I did? I didn't stop shooting. I actually just tapped and had a conversation with my mom while I was still at the gun range. She could hear me, I could hear her, my ears were still protected, and I could continue shooting, which is what I did. So, head over to shop.mrcolionnoir.com and grab you a pair of the AKT1 blackouts. I'll put a link in the description section of this video. One thing's for certain and two things are for sure. Politicians and tech giants don't want gun content to be recommended to you. And we're all fighting this culture war together. Now, you can help do your part by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, but most importantly, sharing this video with at least one person. Together, we can stop the suppression of our 2A rights. And don't forget to click the link in the description section of this video for the products that I mentioned in this video.